Okay, so here is a recap of some of the licks and stuff that many of my students have learned and are currently learning. These are just bends, so let's start with bends today. The first one we talked about, key of A by the way, was keeping your pinky and your third finger down on the first string and the second string. So you got a root and a fifth, and then you're going to take a 2 out of the scale and move up to a 3. So that is your typical pedal steel bend. You got to be careful with this one, because if you start to push with these two fingers, first finger and middle finger, you may want to drive that third finger, which would pull it out of tune, right? So we don't want that. So you got to really stick the pinky in third. Okay, so I got a little bit of chorus on the delay, the light delay. If you listen, you can barely hear an echoing, fading delay, and there's a little bit of tape echo on that, which would be the chorusy sound that would help you stay in tune a little bit. It's a little more forgiving, shall we say. Okay, so we were talking about a few things you can do with that. That would be a resolve to an A chord. Here's going to a chord into a B7. That's a cool way to get to a B7, and then you might take that's in a D7, and then back into the A. So that's could be a lick just to kind of work on itself. Nice little resolve there. That'd be over the progression that you had worked that with. Okay. All right. The other thing is to take that same thing and turn it more into a blues style bend. Also flip to the strat type of tone here. Take your bend and go from the 4th fret to the 7th fret. Okay. So now we've taken it a little more bluesy. Just another way to maximize that lick right there. And then obviously you could take that up and do it over a D chord. Let's do it over the D chord, but let's put a dominant 7 in it this time. Let's take the 10th fret down to the 8th. Okay, so that's a nice bend. Maybe you're playing. Working into a D7 type of thing. So that's your first bend that we're going to give you there with the 3rd string pushing upward. All right, so the next thing is to take that same bend that we had off the 3rd string and bring it up, but this time we're actually going to put the notes in the lower strings. So we're going to go 5th string and 4th string. So notice that this time the bend is going down instead of up. Okay, so you might start kind of a pedal steel thing. That's a nice little pedal steel going from an A chord to an E and then a D chord back to an A. Okay, so you can work it that way. You can do it over the D chord. So that's a nice one. I have a little fun with this. Sometimes I might take it up to a minor 3rd, back to a minor 2nd. So that might be over a C chord, down to a minor, a B minor, and then back into an A. So all right, so since we're on the subject of pulling down to get notes to bend, let's go ahead and start with a D. And I want you to play a D pentatonic. Okay, coming off that 5th string. But I want you to take it into a dominant 7 off of that D. So check it out. The pinky hit the 10th fret to create a D7 chord that was going to be pushed into a 9th. So this actually turns into a D9. And then resolve back to D7, okay? There's actually not... When you get the full bend in it, there's actually not a D note in it, because it's just, it'd be that shape right there that you're bending into. So I might play it. You can also do that over the A chord as well. Notice I'm using the hybrid technique. Pick on the 5th string, middle finger on the 4th, third finger on the 3rd. And getting that full grab technique. And then you can alternate and rotate, that kind of thing. So these are some of the bends that a lot of folks are working on to get their country music up to par. Okay, so one more bend would be, I'm still in the key of A, by the way, and I'm going to try to come into a pitch here, just first string and second string. I was just kind of showing you your position there where we'd be. But come behind it, which would be A7, but we're going to push the dominant 7 up to a root. So you have this. Okay, so that's a really fun. Okay, so a lot of folks were bending off the second string to get the 2 to 3 resolve. Let's work down that one. 12th fret, second string. I'm going to go up and really drive on it. I'm having a fight on the second string between the pick and the middle finger. Then take it down to the 9th and 8th fret. Then I have a little double stop party right there. I hit the 2nd and 3rd string, pull back. Sometimes my finger's flat on that too. Just depends. Maybe if an E chord is close by, I might hit that right there, that it actually is a E chord. But if it's still over the A, I might just do a dominant 7. And a little extra candy on the end of it right there, just showing you that you can move those bends around to different locations. All right, have some